All right. Well, hello, and welcome to the Alliance live show number 5. I'm your host, Ramon Azab, aka Remom with the Alliance, and I've got a special show for you guys today. We've got a bunch of great guests here. We're looking towards a whole bunch of new content coming out. We've also got the R2D2 to discuss. We got to look at the Imperial update to the troopers. We're going to take a look at that as well, and of course, we're going to have our top 10 and our weekly Q&A as well as the meta reports. So we're looking forward to a bunch of cool stuff. So now, I'd like to do an introduction to the people that we have here on the show today. First and foremost, McLeod. Welcome. How you doing?
Hey, Raymond. Doing good.
I'm hearing myself again in the stream. Okay, is that somebody's mic feedback or okay? All right, excellent. So yeah, okay, I got it here. So also we have Talon. How's it going, Talon?
Hey, how's it going?
We got good old Maurice.
What's up?
Golden Chinchilla himself. What's going on, Maurice?
Not much, man. Just hanging out.
Omega Shenron. What's going on, Omega?
Hey, Raymond, glad to be here, man.
That came out on his channel, Omega Mobile Gaming. We've also got a moment here. We've also got Marth Vader. Welcome to the show, Marth Vader.
Hey guys, how's it going? Good to be here.
And we are again missing Cheeky Cutie this week, and Champy is not here, so we're just going to get started and get rolling as well. So first and foremost, I want to get into the news. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. I'm your host, Ramon Azab, aka the update that came out on the 25th. What's new is R2D2 and his legendary event. Obviously, this is going to be just like a Yoda or a Palpatine event where you're going to be able to unlock the character at 5 stars. If you have 5 or Empire characters, if you have 5 6-star Empire characters, you'll get a 6-star and then a 7-star if you have 5 7-star Empire characters. Are all you guys prepared for the R2D2 event? Do you guys have the characters you need to get them?
For the Empire? For sure, man. I got more than enough.
I mean, they chose a good time to do this. I mean, with every other event, like the Yoda event or the Rebel event, I did have to do a little bit of preparation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think I had pretty much everybody close with the Rebel event, but with Yoda, I definitely had to do some farming, and I was able to get Yoda on the second go around, not the first one. It looks like a lot of people are going to be able to get R2D2 right off the bat here because of the recent Empire meta that we had. We had Palpatine, and the Palpatine lead was very prominent for a while, and then we kind of shifted into the Darth Vader lead with the Zeta. Now it's a Zol meta, as we all know, but there's definitely been a lot of people that have been upgrading their Empire squads, also working on Death Trooper and Krennic as well. Now that they're farmable characters as well. So I mean, are you guys excited? You guys want to get your R2D2?
Yes.
What do you think?
I've never been so excited about a character ever in this game.
Really?
It's like Natalie Portman just arrived at my doorstep.
You see, it's like
it's always been about R2D2. All this Jedi mumbo jumbo. It's a side thing. It's really about the droid.
He's one of the most beloved characters in the whole of the Star Wars universe. I mean, come on. And that little teaser in the help section where he had that kind of shard picture, and then they teased him at all the Star Wars celebrations, and he just no news in the actual game, and now he's here.
Right. I mean, we got a kind of sneak peek of R2D2 about pretty much almost exactly a year ago, and now he's finally coming into the game. So it's a long-awaited arrival for R2D2 for sure. But I think that one thing we got to look at is that, he's kind of has a synergy for everything, right? So he's a droid, he's a rebel, he's part of the Galactic Republic, he's 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 resistance also, right?
Yes.
So he works with a lot of different factions. Where do you think right now, based upon what you've seen, that he's going to be a great asset? I mean, do you see him being more of a droid character, more of a rebel character, a resistance character? Where do you think he's going to fit best right now?
I think it's going to be resistance as well. Maybe get resistance pilot out of there finally.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people too. All right, so moving along here, we have the Empire Faction Pass with General Veers, and we're going to go over that here in a little while as well. There were updates made to all the trooper characters, so Death Trooper, Shore Trooper, Storm Trooper, Snow Trooper. We have Magma Trooper, and then I believe is that it for the troopers? We have the Imperial Super Commando. Is that guy counts as a trooper too, right? So, have quite a few troopers that were upgraded and given new abilities, and then also, Veers obviously was upgraded as well to give him a synergy with the troopers. So, I've actually gotten a look at some of that in action, and it looks really cool. Now, there's also the Elite Combat Event number 3, which just occurred the other day. What did you guys think of the new ship, the Gauntlet Starfighter? Did you guys like it?
Yes, I think it's going to be game changing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean that was pretty cool. I mean, I think, just like anything else. I mean, I toyed with how much we were going to really discuss this ship here today, because the event did just happen, and it's really cool to add a new ship to the game, especially since we have so many characters already, and now they're adding more and more ships. It seems like every other update, but it's like, I can't really get too excited about a ship that I know I'm not going to have anytime soon. It's like, I'm definitely not going to buy the ship. I don't see it going into fleet shipments anytime soon. I think they're going to, there's no. I mean, the only thing that's going to happen is it's probably going to go into the equivalent of a ship chromium pack, which is those character ship packs, which is like you get shards for a character and ships, which is a complete and total waste for me because I don't need any character shards. And on top of that, I have most of those ships already. So I just don't see me ever getting the Gauntlet Starfighter anytime soon. Unfortunately, it looks like a really cool ship.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. These new packs, what are they? $400, $500 to get the character, but the ship actually is the 5 to 30 shards as well. So you have to put it in value as well. Like, the only place you can use ships right now is Arena, right? There's no Galactic War, no light side, dark side, bad. So really, if you're going to invest in it, it's just for Arena. I don't think it's as good as investment as probably characters, but the ship looks awesome. I'm excited when I'll be able to get my hands on it.
I really like
buff, black, and big. He's out of the gate.
Yeah, I really like the Ghost ship and the Phantom too. It's really hard for me to get excited. I mean, at least with the characters, there's been a cadence, and like we know that at some point we're going to be able to farm them somewhere. Like, and that is they've been pretty much on point with that. I mean, they've been taking shuffling characters in and out of the shard shop. They've been adding characters to the chromium packs and then adding them to the shipments for you to farm them with crystals. And then eventually, a few weeks later, they're putting them into either a hard node or some sort of a shipment. So they've been pretty much following that cadence. So we now know that when a character comes out, we got a really good idea on what their shelf life is as far as being a premium character, which is both really good and really discouraging as far as the person buying the characters is concerned. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I bought Nihilus, and I'm glad I made that purchase because I'm done with him now and I don't have to worry about it. But I mean, if it's not Nihilus, if it's not an amazing character like that to me, like, Nihilus or Jedi Luke or, R2-D2 or somebody like that, I mean, why would I buy the character when I know I can just farm him in a couple of weeks? I don't know. I feel like, and with the ships, there's no timetable. I mean, they sold that Kylo Ren command shuttle, which is a ship I'm actually really excited about, not just because of the abilities, because, I just like the ship. I wanted that ship to come into this game. When they started talking about having ships in the game, I was like, oh, I would definitely want Kylo Ren's command shuttle. That's one of the first ships that came to mind for me. And I always thought that was a cool looking ship. And it's like, whoever bought that pack is just sitting there with a 4-star Kylo Ren's command shuttle, unless you're buying chromium packs. And he's not farmable anywhere. So I don't see. I can't get excited about a ship that I can't see in my future at all anytime soon. And I don't know. I just don't understand why. I mean, again, I hate to keep bringing this up every single week, but I understand why they priced out the middling spender. I mean, it seems like, if you're somebody that was willing to spend a decent amount of money, now it's been extended to a cost that's even a pretty decent spender. I mean, I'm willing to spend a couple $100 for a character, but I'm not willing to spend double. I'm not willing to spend double that. Okay, so they've actually priced me out. They've made me spend less in the game. It's so much more expensive than it was before that it's now it just doesn't even make sense. I mean, to get a character for $400 that I'm going to be able to farm for free in 4 to 6 weeks, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. I don't understand. Anyway,
I don't understand either, but I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? It's 2 or 2.5 times expensive, and they priced me out too. The last character I got was Nihilus, and I would have got all the other characters at that old price point of a couple $100. But to be honest, I'm not going to spend $400 or $500 a character.
If these were Rhodium characters, Rhodium price characters, I'd have Ezra Bridger right now. I'd have Kanan Jarrus right now. I'd probably have Sith Trooper and Sith Assassin.
Me too.
I probably would have spent another $1,000 in this game. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they lost that money because they wanted to go for the mega whale, which I don't understand. I mean, I understand things don't get cheaper; they get more expensive. But to have such an increase, I mean, literally double the price almost.
100% increase. That's not a little. That's a lot.
That priced me out. I mean, now I'm just I'm taking my payout from Arena. I'm buying vaults here and there, and when I buy the vaults, I kind of make it last a little bit, and I'm just buying refreshes in Cantina. I'm buying some shards out of the shipments whenever I see Krennic get cheaper, get more expensive. But to have such an increase, I mean, literally double the price almost. Somebody has to turn off YouTube or turn off the volume on YouTube. Now I'm just, I'm taking. Yeah, it's just discouraging. That's all I gotta say. But anyway, moving along, we got.
Somebody just asked to mute the game volume. Is there game volume playing in the background or something?
All right.
Okay, so we've got.
You still there, Remon?
I think we lost Raymond.
I believe we have lost Remon.
So we got a little bit of a connection issue here. Don't worry,
all right, guys,
everybody.
hold on
we'll get this under control.
No one pull a Leroy Jenkins. Just hold on to your seats. So 1 second.
Yeah, the game volume's cool. Game volume's adjusted. We're good.
Yep, that's gone.
Oh well. I guess you muted Remon too.
Well, while someone runs around and sees what happened to Remon, how about we move forward? And Maurice this week, I believe, is going to do us a meta report.
Yes, I am. And
all right. So
exciting meta report it is.
So over to good old Maurice for the good old meta report, and in, I believe, with the leaders of the top 10.
All right. Well, you look at the chart here; it's almost identical to last week. Darth Nihilus is making a bit of a rise to the top. I guess there's been some videos released, and some good YouTubers claiming that he is a nice counter to the Triple Cleanse team. So people are listening, and he is rising to the top here. 69 of the top 10 leaders at rank 1 this week. But the rest is the same as usual: Darth Maul, Rex, Vader, Qui-Gon, Wedge, your usual suspects. We do have a interesting clone sergeant in the mix with 14 chart. I guess that's new shards, perhaps an initiation into a guild of some sort. I'm not sure what exactly that is. Pretty much, but it is going to change, guys. This is at the release of R2D2 and once some of these Gar Saxons and stuff start making a rise. So you're going to see a little bit of a shake-up, but Darth Maul now seem to be here to stay. We'll move on to the characters now. And this week, it's more usual. A bit of a rise. I guess more and more people are getting out. This is still your clear-cut number one, with 76% of all rank 1 squads using him. That's crazy. That's like Royal Guard back in the day. You know, Kenobi, Maul still in the mix. Palpatine, Rex, ensure it as usual, right neck and neck next to each other. Kylo Ren is 530, so I guess more and more people are getting the Zeta on him, getting all the use out of him possible. And then 2 more, Assassin and Oppress. Thoughts? Anything interesting to add?
It's getting kind of
Talking
stale,
about-
isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, man.
I'm waiting for that next meta, man. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, just we'll see what it is. It's I think
holding my
it's
Has
going to
gear,
anyone
be
seen anything interesting and creative on their shards, or is it pretty much same?
I have a guy who's running a on my shard, which is pretty interesting. Full first order squad. I mean, I don't even know. We ask him all the time in our shard chat, like how are you beating everybody? I mean, I don't understand how are you getting into the top 5? I mean, I don't understand. How are you beating his all team with that? That's pretty amazing. I mean, I don't know what he's doing, because I roll through that team on offense like without even. I mean, I could auto his team. I mean, so it's like I don't know what he's doing to win, but maybe
I
he's
think
just
there's
talented.
something to be said for obviously human control versus computer control and the RNG, but it's all these Zetas as well. There's up there into the top 20, top 10 that just should be there, but on offense they can punch through if they want to spend the crystals. So
He just presses the screen better than I do. So that's what it is.
yeah, I think
But
any team with a couple of Zetas and a maxed out bunch of gear has a shot at least of taking down a few teams here and there.
is the audio cutting out? Can anybody listen to the show and see if we're doing okay?
Yeah, the audio is fine. There was an issue with some background. I guess the game lobby was open or something, but that's fine now. It sounds good.
We got Cody Moore out there representing. What's going on, Cody Moore? So, I think the meta looks pretty much the same as it was last week. I mean, this is, we're in a situation right now where I don't see it going anywhere until some big change happens. So I don't see Darth Nihilus moving. I don't see Darth Maul moving. I don't see any of this stuff really changing too drastically anytime soon until some wrench gets thrown in this Sith meta, which is dominating the game right now. So, I'm kind of shocked to see it's been lasting this long, but really it's because the speed has gotten so fast with that team, because of the turn meter gain, that it's just for most teams. And just the combination of the speed with the stealth and the dodge, it's just a really difficult team to beat with any other team. I mean, I put together a pretty good Rogue One squad, and I think they're they're a good team. They're all pretty fast. They're well modded, but even when I fight with that team against a Maul Zeta team, it's really difficult. I mean, it's tough to pull out a win with that team.
Yeah, I mean, the Maul meta is being kind of crushed by about 3 of us on my shard, and it's a Rex lead. We seem to be holding out the top 5 spots, and we'll always be there at payout. But everyone else is using the Maul, and the Zeta on the Maul. But the Rex team with Kenobi, Chase, and Darth Sidious. So it's kind of that holds out pretty good as well. So it's about the only other team that is capable, if you have good mods and max gear, and all of those kind of guys 7-starred that hold out against Maul's meta at the moment.
Did we lose everybody?
No.
Okay, I think we're still here, but apparently everyone seems to have gone on mute. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. We're trying some new tech here with the show, so bear with us
Okay,
while we go
I'm back. Yeah. So,
there you go.
all right, we're good. I don't know how do we all go on mute? That's so weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went through the squad members here. Did we touch on the leaders yet?
Yeah, we blew through that while we were sorting out your access there. So yeah, not a lot of change, but this has made another appearance with 14 people using him as a lead. So we're still not entirely sure why that keeps happening. But
I don't know if that's is that just because like somebody suggested last show that maybe it's because early shards are using. But even then, I mean, why would you use don't they give you a character with a leader ability? Why would they give?
I mean, unless people who just really don't know how to play the game are somehow, what is it, at level 60 before you access squad arena?
How do you get to rank 1 with
Yeah, that's where that theory, I shot that theory down because, yeah, you got to get to rank 1 with that. It's just, I'm not sure how that's happening.
And I mean, it's not one person. It's not like a random. I mean, I'd get it if it was one guy, but I mean, it's like a lot of people. There has to be something wrong with that. There's no way that can't be the case. I mean, that's. I mean, even using. I mean, I think everybody gets Luke now when you start the game, right? So it's like Luke at least has the tenacity leadership that goes to all allies. So I don't know why you would ever. I mean, I'd use that at least if I had no other leader ability. But I think Chewbacca also has a leader ability that's pretty good to start the game. Yeah. So I mean that's one of the leaders that I used when I first started. So I mean I can't imagine that people wouldn't go that route.
It sounds like some alt guild shenanigans.
Yeah, or Maurice's theory that it's kind of initiation.
But I wanted to go over R2D2 and his abilities. So let's pull up R2 and we'll go over his
all right,
his repertoire here, his skill set.
Let's bring up R2 again. We're going to have to go way down to the bottom of this roster because he is not available.
Well, yeah, R2 has a basic ability called Electroshock Prod, which is deal physical damage to target enemy with an 80% chance to stun for 1 turn. This attack deals 30% more damage to burning targets. Now, burning is debuff. Does anybody have the explanation for burning offhand?
No, this is a new one on us.
Yeah, it's a brand new ability.
So if
burning is
like days or.
Yeah, I believe. Give me 1 second here. I'll find out right now. Okay. Burning deals more damage over time and minimizes chance to evade. So this is kind of like a direct counter to the Sith meta right now, to the Zol lead. So it's meant to deal damage over time, and it's supposed to minimize the chance for your opponent to evade any attacks. So if they have a high evade, I believe it's going to reduce. Like what was it, 10% or something like that? I forget, but it's supposed to reduce the chance of evade. So against let's say an old Ben lead or against a Zol lead, they're not going to dodge as many attacks, and obviously it does damage over time as well, which is a debuff. So it's a new debuff to the game. It's pretty cool, and again, his basic attack deals 30% more damage if the target is burning. And he has an 80% chance to stun on his basic, which is actually a really high percentage chance to stun on a basic attack. So that's pretty awesome. Now, his second ability is special, has a 4-turn cooldown, and it's called Smokescreen. Target ally gains foresight advantage for 2 turns, and all other allies gain stealth for 2 turns. R2D2 gains 40% turn meter. So this is kind of like that mechanic for the Phoenix Squad, where you're able to choose an alternate character to get a bonus. Again, I think Jin also gives turn meter to whatever ally she chooses. It's one of those mechanics that was introduced with ships where you can choose a target ally to give them. Basically, the ally is going to get foresight and advantage for 2 turns, and then all other allies in the team are going to gain stealth for 2 turns. And R2D2 is going to get 40% turn meter, so he's going to pretty much get to go almost again, which is pretty cool. Now, his third ability is Improvise, which is also a 4-turn cooldown, and it deals special damage to all enemies. So this is an AoE attack, and this is probably going to be that oil burning attack where he just slicks oil on everybody and starts a fire. For that animation from the game. Deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict burning for 3 turns. This attack can't be evaded. So he's basically going to do an AoE attack and an area of effect, and he's going to light some sort of a, I think he's going to light some sort of oil slick that he shoots on everybody, and this is what's going to give them the burning for 3 turns. So that's pretty cool. His unique ability, he's got 2 Zetas, and they're both uniques, is Combat Analysis, which is while R2D2 is active, all allies gain 10% critical chance and 10% accuracy. While R2D2 is active, whenever a light side ally scores a critical hit, dispel all debuffs on them. Okay, now that's actually a pretty cool Zeta because, whenever you score a critical hit, you're going to get your debuffs removed, and on top of that, the increase in accuracy is going to also help against those Zol teams because, the accuracy is going to go counter against that evade or the dodge. Obviously getting an increase in critical chance helps you that your
I got the volume up on the YouTube. If it comes through, you'll hear it.
All right.
Hello.
Testing. Anything?
Test.
Yeah, we're good now, fellas.
Was it good?
We're good.
Uh-oh. We're back. Awesome. Okay, good. So, McLeod, that last thing that you said that it couldn't possibly be. Thing that you said it probably wasn't at all, and this was a complete waste of time, is actually exactly what it was.
Well,
That's
it's
awesome.
a setting that it wasn't on before, so I don't understand why it would work, but it's a distinct possibility that it might possibly last ditch might have worked, and for some reason it has. So hey, we're back.
I think that so now whoever's got the show on, the volume's got to mute that. But
Are you getting feedback for that?
Yeah, I got that.
All right, so yeah, we're back. All right, and we were talking about R2D2, so let's get back to him. Some technical difficulties. I think Omega was sitting on the cord.
Yes, he was.
Definitely, it was my fault. My fault completely.
All right, Tony Richards says the last thing they heard was we were talking about R2D2 and his unique with the crit taking away debuffs.
Okay, so we were talking about R2D2's combat analysis, which is his first unique and first Zeta ability. And it's while R2D2 is active, all allies gain 10% crit chance and 10% accuracy. While R2D2 is active, whenever a light side ally scores a critical hit, dispel debuffs on them. Now, what's cool about this is that, again, you increase the crit chance, so it gives you an increased ability or an increased chance to dispel all your debuffs. And on top of that, you get an increase in accuracy. So when you're facing a Zol team, for example, you have a good chance to actually hit on the character. So coupled with the increase to accuracy is going to make it more frequent that R2D2 actually scores an attack against a character like a Darth Maul when he's got that evade leadership. So that's going to really help out against the Zol team. What are your guys' thoughts about that?
Well, like we were saying,
Maurice.
anything that might shake up this meta.
Oh, it's definitely
really.
going to shake up the meta. It's a buff to the whole light side, this character. You know what I mean? Like, you can use whoever you have, and if you can get R2D2 unlocked, you instantly make them better, you know? Like, this character is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so,
but
too.
is accuracy worth anything? I mean, nobody uses accuracy arrows. You know, I haven't really ever seen it help against evasion that much.
See myself, so I mean, again, I'd be speaking out of turn here to say that I know what it does or what it doesn't do. But what I can say is that if you couple the accuracy with the burning, which increases or decreases the chance to evade, then it should give you a significantly better chance to actually score attacks. So maybe just accuracy alone, but I think coupled with the burning, it might be a good thing.
You dispel yourself when you score a crit hit. You know what I mean? That's what you get 10% crit chance, and then you get rid of all the debuffs in your head when you score a crit hit with this Zeta.
And that's not even a lead. That's not even a leader ability.
No,
It's just a unique
Oh,
for one character.
have some fun in Arena instead of just running Rex, Chirrut, and Kenobi. Because, I mean, let's be real. I mean, that's not entertaining for anybody anymore, you know?
Yeah. All right. And then we have his last unique ability, which is Number Crunch. And at the start of the battle, R2D2 gains 10% max protection for each droid ally, 10% offense for each Galactic Republic ally, 10% max health for each Rebel ally, and 10% potency for each Resistance ally. Also, at the start of the battle, and when R2D2 is revived, other droid, Galactic Republic, Rebel, and Resistance allies gain 10% of R2D2's max protection, offense, max health, and potency until R2D2 is defeated. So whenever R2D2 is on the board, any of these factions are going to gain these bonuses. And then on top of that, R2D2 gains bonuses for whatever allies he has on the board. So, I mean, if you have one person or one character from each faction on there, he's going to get 10% of all those things: protection, offense, health, and potency. I mean, it depends, I guess, on what type of squad you're on. Maybe you want to have, let's say, Galactic Republic allies. So, let's say, for example, R2D2 is on a team with 4 other Jedis. He's going to get 50% offense because you have to include himself as a Galactic Republic ally, right?
Well, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
It doesn't count as it would say any other ally if it wasn't him, right? So if it didn't count for him, it would say other ally. So that's so he'd get 50% offense. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Huh.
With the Jedi,
Do you think he gets
offense?
You think he gets all these buffs himself?
Yes.
All of these buffs because he is all of these factions. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
wow.
He gets all these buffs. Pretty cool. And you know, bear in mind, he gets. Oh no, not on the second part. It's for any other droid Galactic Republic. So since it says other on the bottom part, he wouldn't get the buffs twice. Is what I'm saying. You know, so he only gets the top part of the buffs. He's not going to get the buffs on the bottom because it says other droid Galactic Republic Rebel or Resistance ally.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's still pretty cool. I mean, again, you know, he's going to get all these bonuses, and like I said, he's going to get it just kind of like how Jawa Engineer gets that extra 10 speed because he counts himself. Same idea here. He's going to get extra potency or max health or offense or protection because he counts himself as well. So he's actually going to get all of those things because he gets that bonus for himself. So that's pretty cool.
Well, he's versatile. You know, you can appropriately to bring out the strengths of your existing team. You know, like just. Or he's gonna be great. I can't wait. This is gonna be fantastic.
157 speed is pretty fast to start for a base. Especially for a little astromech droid, that's pretty awesome. He's got 2399 health and 170 protection. So it's about 45k protection and health, which is actually not bad. Right, and he starts off with a base of 46% tenacity, which has got to be the highest in the game.
It's up there.
So,
sure.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not going to take much to get his tenacity up to 100%. I mean, so with mods, I mean, you could make him virtually almost unstunnable. I mean, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, he looks really good. He's got a base 33% potency. That's pretty cool.
I think you're looking at the max stats because we're looking in game here at the absolute base default R2D2, and his tenacity is 15%, and his potency is actually 0 here.
Well, that's because those are
power projectors.
yeah, that's without any gear or anything like that. I'm looking at the stats on swgoh.gg.
I think that's maximum on there.
Yeah, that's with all his. That's minus any mods. Okay, that's just all his gear equipped and 7-star, level 85. But still, that's pretty good. And like I said, you can increase those stats with mods, so he can get a lot more protection and health. And I mean, that's pretty good already for a character with 157 speed. I mean, that's pretty fast. He's got high tenacity. We'll have to see what kind of damage he does. 2130 is not the lowest I've seen. As far as physical damage is concerned. So I don't know what kind of it says his basic is going to do 4,000 to 4,500 damage. That's pretty good. So yeah, overall it looks like a really cool character. I think he's going to be a great addition to a lot of different teams, a versatile character. And some of the developers have said that they think that R2 is going to change some of the meta out there. So, I mean, I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know whether he's going to, trump the Sith meta here, but he might actually be a great addition to the Sith meta. So maybe he'll just make the Sith meta even stronger. I mean, I think I'm going to try running R2D2 with my Sith to see how that goes first. But anyway. Moving along, we're going to go on to the rest of the news here. So I just want to head back to the update notes here. And the daily login character for next month is going to be General Veers. And there was an Empire faction rework, including, the Imperial Trooper faction. With the addition of the new Imperial Trooper category debuting in May, troopers will share a variety of unique abilities and advantages, becoming a much more formidable force General Veers can bring the full might of his troopers to bear on the filthy rebel scum with his incredible trooper synergies. Additional details for Imperial's trooper category will be shared next week. We did actually get that information as well, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. Hold on a second. Okay. So what we got was Death Trooper now has the Imperial Trooper category, and his unique Krennic's Guard gains, while Death Trooper is active, Imperial Trooper allies have plus 10% health steal. So that's the benefit you get from Death Trooper's unique. Magma Trooper now also has the Imperial Trooper category, and his basic line of fire, secondary damage no longer excludes special selected target. Damage penalty reduced by 5% at all levels. Upgrade 6 now 10% damage instead of 5. Upgrade 7 now 15% damage instead of 5. And his Omega now adds 50% up from 15% on his secondary attack chance and a minus 10% damage penalty. So overall, it looks like Magma Trooper is going to be doing a lot more damage, and he's got a much better chance of actually getting a second attack on his basic. So that should make him better. His Thermal Imploder is upgrade 5 now grants 10% damage instead of 5, and Omega now adds plus 30% turn meter reduction chance in addition to the previous bonus of 15% damage. So now instead of just getting 15% damage with that Omega, you're going to get an additional 30% chance to reduce turn meter. What was the chance before? Was it 50%, 40%? Does anybody know offhand?
I don't
That's not
know.
what
There yet.
opinion.
This Imperial Trooper.
He had a
30%
30% chance to remove turn meter before, and then he had a 40% chance to remove another 30.
Okay,
my Empire
he had
really
a 30% chance to remove 40% turn meter before, and now with this update, it's a 60% chance to remove 30% turn meter. Remove 40% turn meter. So that's pretty cool. That's a significant increase. I mean, 60% is going to happen more than 50% of the time. So, I mean, that's great. Now, as far as his unique hazard training gains, while Magma Trooper is active, Imperial Trooper allies have plus 30% tenacity. Allies of Imperial Troopers that are on the board are going to have an increase to 30% to their tenacity. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty significant increase. And then Omega now adds plus 10% turn meter gain in addition to the previous bonus of plus 5% tenacity. So, so that's pretty cool. I mean, that 10% turn meter gain it's a unique. So is that like gain to what exactly? Like when does that 10% turn meter apply? At the start of an encounter, or what is that?
The 10% turn meter, no, his normal, are you talking about his unique?
Yeah.
Well, he has 30% tenacity, and he gets 60% turn meter as it is right now. Whenever he resists or suffers a negative status effect, that's just changing to 70% turn meter, instead of 60.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I mean, looks like Magma Trooper's increases are actually pretty cool. I mean, they did a lot to him. Shore Trooper regroup now grants health and critical immunity to himself as well. So this was actually one of my biggest problems with Shore Troopers. He didn't give himself crit immunity. He didn't heal himself very much. So now it actually is giving it to him also. That makes him a lot better, I think. And his unique gains, while Shore Trooper is active, Imperial Trooper allies have plus 10% max health. So that's also a great bonus to give out. Snow Trooper, basic assault shock troops, upgrade 7 now grants 10% damage instead of 5, and Omega now adds 15% damage in addition to the previous bonus of plus 15% ability block chance. So that's going to make his basic hit harder. Overwhelming assault base description now reads deal physical damage to all enemies and gain critical damage up for 2 turns. Upgrades 3 to 6 now 10% damage instead of 5. Upgrade 7 now 15% damage instead of 5. And Omega now adds, for each critical hit scored, reduce the cooldown of his ability by 1 instead of 15% damage. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes,
And the
that's pretty
final is really cool. And his final description now reads: deal physical damage to all enemies and gain critical damage up for 2 turns. For each critical hit scored, reduce the cooldown of this ability by 1. That's awesome. And that's an area of effect attack, right?
Yes,
correct.
So that's sick. I mean, he just gets 2 crits, or 3 crits, and he's pretty much going to get to use the ability again. That's sick.
Yeah, I'm liking this trooper stuff. It's really making me feel like it's almost Phoenix like esque kind of with the hero leads. Like you got the Veers leading all the troopers, and they're just sharing their uniques with everybody.
And while Snow Trooper is active, Imperial Trooper allies have plus 20% critical damage. That's a lot.
Yes, it is.
That's a lot. That's pretty sick. Snow Trooper is Snow Trooper is my guy. I think I'm gearing up Snow Trooper as we speak. I'm going to take my phone out right now. But that's pretty sick. All right, Stormtrooper, basic Imperial marksmanship. Omega gains if the attack does not score a critical hit or is evaded, the target becomes exposed, which can't be resisted. Okay, so basically you get a bonus. So even if you hit the target and you deal a little bit of damage, they're going to get either exposed, or if they dodge the attack, they're actually going to get exposed also. So that's pretty cool. And
yeah, they're getting exposed with crit.
So they're pretty much getting exposed regardless, unless it's a crit.
Yeah.
Now, so if it's anything but a crit, they're getting exposed. So his special attack, Stormtrooper Bravado, or his especially that's his taunt. It's not an attack. Sorry. Omega now adds 50% turn meter reduction chance in addition to previous bonus of taunt +1 duration. So plus 50% turn meter chance. I mean, what does that increase to now? Does that mean
he has a chance to remove enemy turn meter. He has a 50% chance to remove turn meter. It's like Han Solo. Whenever someone attacks Stormtrooper, he removes turn meter.
So it's a 100% chance now.
Oh, his chance. His current one was when he taunted. He had a 50% chance to remove 10% turn meter from each enemy whenever he was damaged while taunting.
Okay.
That's what his current one is, at least. So with this new one here, it's 50% turn meter reduction chance. So yeah, he'll have a 100% chance to remove 10% turn meter from each enemy whenever he's damaged while taunting.
That's sick.
Yeah,
that's
so
really sick.
10% turn meter from each enemy whenever he takes damage.
Okay, and Wall of Stormtroopers is unique. Reworked to grant 25 to 40% defense for each living Empire ally. Gains while Stormtrooper is active. Imperial Trooper allies have plus 30% defense, and with a Zeta, Stormtrooper gains 40% offense for each defeated Empire ally. So if Stormtrooper ends up being the last guy on the board after everybody else is dead, if you have 5 Imperial Trooper allies, if you have 5 Empire allies on the team that die, that'll be 160% offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that way he'll do 5,000 on his crit instead of
he'll do 1,500 damage instead of 600.
That's pretty good though. 25 to 40. That's a lot better than his current 13.
160% offense would be a lot. I mean, if you're talking about like Rey getting 160% offense, this would be game breaking.
Yes, but we're talking about Stormtrooper, so
he would one-shot everybody with her basic. That'd be awesome.
Like a long rubber band for his paper wasp is what he gets, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm scared for whenever Rey does get a rework. Like whenever they actually make Rey better, it's going to be scary. Because she's just like she's a little bit. She's not that far away from being dangerous again. All right, I mean, going through all those abilities, I got to say, I think the real winners here to me are Snow Trooper, Magma Trooper, and it looks like Stormtrooper. But really, mostly, I really think mostly it's Snow Trooper that really gained that. If I had to pick like an MVP here, I'd say Snow Trooper was the MVP here.
He looks pretty good now.
Oh yeah, critical damage increase of 20% to all allies, plus his cooldown gets reduced every time he crits on an AOE, and on top of that, he's getting an increase of damage on his basic also. That's awesome, all the way across the board. That's really cool, Plus, he's
he's not too hard of a farm either, is he? Isn't he? Isn't Snow Trooper like arena or something? Where do you get Snow Trooper?
Snow Trooper is
Should know this.
yeah, he's actually he's also farmable in, I think in Cantina nodes, right? I could be mistaken.
Yeah, it's been so long since I got him. I just want to make sure for the viewers here I got this right. A Stormtrooper you get from Cantina battles, the shipments at least.
Okay, Snow Trooper you can get from the 7B battle in Cantina and the 8C hard light side battle.
Yep.
And he's also available in
So you
Guild.
do get yeah. So from Cantina is where you would most likely get him. 7B, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't waste the hard mode farm unless you need him like really quick. But
All right. All right, so let's take a look here. Now, that pretty much ends up the news. I think it's time for us to move into the top 10 territory here, and I think that's going to be on McLeod.
All right,
The
we'll
man
run through the top
himself.
10.
Let's go through the top 10.
All right, here we go. So this week's top 10 are the worst characters to farm in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So making a list of all the worst characters in SWGOH is easy, but it is full of no names who you would never look at to acquire anyway. But what about those iconic characters that do look ever so enticing until you get them maxed out and realize they're a steaming pile? These characters are so bad they should be taken from Castaspella's house on Darktron's bicycle and thrown directly into the ocean, probably off his desert island. And these characters are judged on their difficulty to acquire, their excessive gear requirements, and their general uselessness in every facet of the game. Characters only available by spending your hard-earned money are excluded, with one very notable iconic exception. But at the moment, let's start at number 10. Kit Fisto. Jedis are a mess. They can squeeze out, 100 to 200k damage in P1 of the heroic AAT raid, and they can breeze through a galactic war. They're hardly worth the effort. Even with all the issues that plague the Jedi, there still has to be one named Jedi who is the absolute worst, and it's Kit Fisto. Number 9. Bistan. He's in the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. Force Awakens really just absolutely stinks. And though his turn meter manipulation may allow you to pull off some Rancor shenanigans, there are so many better and more reliable options. Spend that Cantina currency on anything else. If only your ship wasn't so very, very good. Number 8. Savage Opress. Savage Opress was good? Nah. Remember when it looked like he might be good, so you put some time and energy into him, and he was still garbage? Absolutely. He is marginally useful in the arena with a Zeta unique and Darth Maul as lead, but it's easily countered by Boba Fett, if you have not unlocked him yet. Number 7. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Old Ben. Old Ben is just that, old. He had his time of dominance in the arena. Everyone remember that annoying dodge meta, but has absolutely no role now. His AoE debuff is useless when raid bosses just resist him, and his damage is so minuscule. You can squeeze a little damage out with Old Ben lead in Phase 3 and Phase 4 of the HAT raid, but only as a 6th, 7th, or 8th team. Put him back on the Tatooine and forget you ever found him there. You were looking for. Number 6 might be. Nope, it's Director Krennic. He was an absolutely terrible choice to farm when he was only available from crystals with little to no role in any game mode. Now it only costs 20 energy to get around a 1 in 3 chance to get a single shard, or even worse, shard currency. What a terrible idea. If you are a hoarder who needs every single character, please farm away. If you value your energy and want to dominate an arena or raids, choose literally 5. The only thing more valuable than regular energy is Cantina energy, a limited resource that allows you to farm some of the best characters in the game and those elusive speed mods. Death Trooper costs a shocking 16 Cantina energy for a chance to get a single shard. And unlike Sith Assassin and Sith Trooper, this character has no role in the current meta or raids. Maybe Veers can give him a chance. But who knows? We'll see. Snow Trooper's looking a bit more favorable. And at number 4, we've got Asajj Ventress. There are so many things wrong with Asajj that it defies belief anyone would ever invest a single blip of energy or gear in her. Never mind the 1,300 gold and purple pieces and 2 Zetas that she requires to be fully maxed. There may be videos out there of Asajj with massive arena victories over meta teams, but do not believe them for a second. I know Maurice might have something to say about that. Put Asajj on defense and watch your arena team drop. Put Asajj in the raid and keep scrolling down until you find your score. She is great Star Wars character who is completely wasted in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We'll save Maurice's comments for after the top 3. Can you guess? Can you guess? Right, we'll go with number 3 is Zam Wessel. If you were unfortunate enough to shell out a wad of cash for this forgotten movie extra, you were rewarded with a broken character which relies on broken mechanics to produce forgettable damage. Her farm is a little easier now, but her useless decidedly absent. She provides absolutely no benefit for the sinkhole of raid gear and credits that you will never recover. When looking for a terrible farm, she is a great place to start. And number 2, General Grievous. So it looked like General Grievous is a big number 2, making the number 2 on both bad lists 2 weeks in a row. And this long, slow farm to an unusable character was terrible before they put raid gear and Nyla shards in the shard shop. Currency can be used to gear up and acquire characters with an ounce of value. This grind is even worse. If you do spend months unlocking him and weeks grinding his insane 1,770 purple and gold pieces, be prepared for a character with no role in the arena or the raids. Time and money well spent? Maybe not. Okay, anyone got any guesses as where we're going with the number 1? You'll never get this. It's the Millennium Falcon from episode 7.
Oh,
okay, technically not a character, really.
A ship. Okay.
Ooh, yeah, here we go. Switching things up. That's why I thought you'd never guess that. Throwing a curveball here. This ship has long held the title as the most expensive character or ship to farm in the game. The thousands of dollars you would need to shell out to get this ship even unlocked should be, at the very least, mean that the ship is a dynamic and dominant unit. And combine the lack of health and protection with a ramp-up mechanic that is easily derailed, and you have a ship that will never, ever be used. So there you go. There's our top 9/10 characters and 1 ship.
Yeah, I mean, I think Malia really, really pulled that ship, out of nowhere. I didn't expect a ship on the list. To be honest with you, that was a complete shocker. But I mean, I agree with some of these characters. Kit Fisto should be higher on this list. I think he was originally a pay-to-play character, so I paid for Kit Fisto.
Oh, right? That's got hurt.
Yeah, and I understand his pain with Zam Wessel. Fortunately, I did not pay a nickel for Zam Wessel. I got her completely out of the fleet shipments and the guild shipments. But Malia Bean is one of the few people that actually shelled out about $300 or $400 to get her out of the chromium packs when she came. So he also dumped a whole bunch of shards into the shard shop there too. I mean, he must have went hamburger on Zam, and what ended up happening was he had an unusable character for several months. I mean, he's got a special.
I'll say this about Zam Wessel. I think I mentioned it before. There is one guy on our shard, and we were speaking earlier about teams that managed to punch through their way into the top 20, top 10. There's one guy using a Scoundrels team, and it's got Zam Wessel in it maxed, and it's kind of annoying until you figure out the pattern, but it's obviously good enough to get him up there beating Maul Zeta team. So if you've got that team,
listen,
but not really.
Listen, I mean, all this stuff is up for interpretation. I mean, it depends on the rest of the characters that you have in your roster. If you have a Sith team right now, Swgoh Press is definitely usable. Zam is horrible in everything except for maybe an all bounty hunter team or like an all scoundrel team. If you're running maybe
that team.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett lead, IG-88, Stormtrooper Han, Zam Wessel, and Gareth Rebel Pathfinder, I think it is.
Guy named RJ Brando I faced in one of the tournaments, ran a Zam in a team in the tournament, and it was actually a really good defensive team. So it was just like, had I been prepared for it, it would have been fine. I just thought it was going to be easy, and when I went in there, I was just completely overwhelmed. So like I just got, I was like, oh my god!
I thought I would kill it with the Rebel Chase Wiggs team, and it got destroyed. And I was like, what just happened? And until you figure out the order, but as soon as you do, you can get past it. But then it's still pretty RNG dependent, so it can be annoying. But like I said, for that amount of time and gear, and especially if you paid from early on, just not worth it. So
right now, I'm actually farming hard Death Trooper and Krennic. So I mean, will that pay dividends? I don't know. I like the characters, and I'd like to see them at some point have a place in the meta. That could happen, but right now, I don't know. So I mean, it's
so much
it's
buzz
definitely
when those came out, and just they kind of came out. Everyone got them because did you get them free? You got the unlock in the event, and then they kind of sat there.
Yeah, well, they were extremely they were the first super highly expensive characters that came out. They had the Cooper pack that was. I mean, that was when the uprise was about the prices. That's when everybody went nuts.
Those packs, isn't it? Those kind of real expensive packs. That's where it all started.
Yeah,
so.
I made a hate video about those packs. But I mean, that's the thing. They were so expensive, and they didn't have a place in the meta right now. And the Zol teams, you're not going to be able to beat them with them right now. I mean, they're part of that cooldown team that I've been working on. But I mean, I think that that's just for fun. I mean, I have teams that I use that are meta teams that I can win with an arena. If I didn't have, my Qui-Gon Zeta team for the Jedi, if I didn't have my Zol team, I would not be working on Death Trooper and Krennic because, I know that they don't make sense to gain any kind of advantage. The reason I am working on them is because I have the ability to at this moment because I have a lot of stuff. And I can work on some projects, some side projects that may not end up panning out down the road. But they have a cool set of abilities. So I mean, maybe one day. But I have to agree that Grievous, even though he was my guy there for a few months back in the middle of last year, and I dominated the arena with that.
Kind of locked down number one with that, if I remember right. You have to play.
Oh yeah, I didn't even look at my arena. For like days, I just sat at rank 1. But that also happened to coincide right around the time that mods came out, and nobody was able to catch up with the mods that I bought off the bat. So I was the fastest, and I had the strongest droid team when droids were at their peak. So I mean, it was pretty much just like a destroy. I mean, nobody even got. I mean, I wouldn't even lose a character on defense. So I mean, guys were showing me videos of like their entire team destroyed, and I still had full protection on my droid team, so it was cool. But General Grievous had his couple of months in the sun for me, and now he's back to being a completely useless character unless they do some sort of a rework or give him a Zeta or something like that, which is really something he deserves because he's a big character in the lore. He's a lot of people's favorite character or one of their favorite characters, and he really would, if maybe they made a rework to him or gave him a better leader ability, make the droids relevant again, and that's something that the droids really need. I think they need a faction pass, just kind of like the troopers did, and kind of like they did with the Sith, and so I mean, hopefully that comes one day.
So yeah, if we wrap up here with the final thoughts. So ultimately what you farm and what you like and play in the game your way, but there are clearly some characters and ships that will only be as good as novelty and collector pieces versus getting ahead in the more competitive parts of the game. So either compete or catch them all.
That's well said. Well, thank you very much, McLeod. And again, a very well done top 10. And we also have, I believe Maurice here has been compiling some very interesting and fun questions for us. But before we get there, I did want to discuss a few other things. First and foremost, how did you guys fare with this this event, the Jedi event that's running right now?
I mean, I did well with it. I mean, it wasn't too difficult for me, but I've been playing a long time. I mean, some of the guys in the Alliance, lower level, newer players are kind of struggling with it. I mean, but I mean, I guess if you have Maul, pretty through all three phases of it. I mean, I don't even have a Zeta Maul, and I used him, and just it was auto.
I personally think that, if you have the ability to beat this event, the Places of Power event is my favorite event, to be honest with you, because just because of the rewards. I mean, they're all easy, right? But I mean, the thing is that, like, with this one, even though you're as far as like an assault battles is concerned, when you do the Empire assault battles, you get nothing. You get like a stun cuff and some shards for Empire characters that you don't need. And it's just a waste. You get like 1,000 credits or something. It's a complete total waste, except for the first time you beat it, right? But with this, we're getting ship currency, we're getting ship shards, we're getting character shards for those ships. I mean, it's a much better reward. I mean, and they're also giving us a piece of high end gear. I mean, so you have a chance to get some Rex shards, which is one of the harder ships to get out of the fleet shipments. I mean, Rex's ship only appears every so often. You can get, some consular shards or Ahsoka shards or Plo Koon, and then you have a chance to get some of this highly hard to attain gear. These MK3s. Yeah, it's all the purple stuff. I mean, stun cuffs are in there. Cheddar comlinks. I mean, those are some of the better pieces, and you're getting 200K. Ship currency, which is, again, also one of the harder currencies to get in the game. So I think rewards-wise, this actual challenge, the assault battles, is the best one that there is. I mean, I look forward to this one coming around.
That's at all tiers as well. That's at all tiers. You have the,
Well, because there's no credit heist. Yeah, there's no credit heist for ships. So this is one of the rare occasions you get a boost to your credit shipments, or your ship shipments.
This is one of the better events where you're actually getting rewards that help you. There's so few of that right now because, I mean, even the daily challenges. I mean, they're at a point now where why even bother anymore? I mean, I get purple mats out of there. I've got like 600 purple mats. I've got I've got tons of that stuff. I mean, the only thing that I really need out of there a lot are those the MK3 the Carbantes. I'm saying besides the Carbantes, that's really pretty much all I need out of the challenges. Everything else I have hundreds and hundreds of, and I don't foresee me running out of any of that stuff anytime soon. So it's cool to get an event that actually gives you something that's worthwhile. All the other stuff seems to give you almost nothing. I mean, it's like, and you're talking about 8 battles. It's like when the assault battles come now, I don't even do them. It's like I got to do 8 battles to get one stun cuff or get like one, General Veer shard. I'm not interested. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is cool. 200K ship credits, maybe couple stun cuffs, maybe some shards for Rex's ARC, and Rex himself. I mean, that's cool.
I actually feel like I got the most fun and value out of putting a Zeta on Darth Maul and Kylo Ren out of doing the Places of Power battle today.
Now let's get into the nitty gritty here. This is something I really wanted to discuss. The droid event. Okay, so obviously we've all been waiting for a long time to get Jedi Luke. Okay, I don't see that happening anytime soon now that this is here. Right? I mean, they're not going to throw out back-to-back legendary events. Now they've at least created a name for it, right? They're calling it a legendary event. I'm assuming that means that they're going to make the Palpatine event and the Yoda event legendary events also. So they're, whenever they have these legendary events, you're getting a full 7-star character. That is on top of those 7-star character. We're going to get about, I mean, what was it? What's it usually like 500-600 crystals, maybe 1,000 crystals you get out of the event? I mean, they're going to give you like hundreds of crystals with each battle. So it's like whenever these events come around, you get a huge boost in credits, crystals. You get a full character to 7 stars. I mean, to me, that means right now that, again, because we're getting R2-D2 now, I don't foresee them even releasing Luke next. That means they're probably going to have to release somebody else next. I don't foresee them releasing another,
light side character like Jedi Luke next either. I mean, and if it does happen, it's not going to be till like near December at the earliest. We're probably not going to see the R2D2 event until maybe late in the year.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What you were saying with Palpatine and Yoda, I don't think they're going to go backwards because here it says extremely rare event, which is what Yoda and Palpatine's used to be, and they're kind of in regular rotation now, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're going to do the same thing. They're going to make you wait 6 months to get R2 again. Then when you do, they're going to place him in rotation with Palpatine and Yoda.
Right.
You're going to have a three.
Going to add to that mix.
It's going to add to that mix.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, then what does that mean? We have to wait till Star Wars Celebration next year to get Jedi Luke? I don't want to wait that long. I mean, that's he's a character that should have been in this game already. I'm saying, and I mean, I understand that they're going to release these legendary characters every now and then, but they should put it. I don't know. I think that they should do it more frequently than this. I mean, I understand it's special.
Yeah. I genuinely still think we're going to get the old Luke Skywalker from episode 8 before we get regular Luke.
But there's enough legendary characters to do this. Okay. I mean, they could do this with R2. They could do this with C-3PO. They could do this with Luke. They could do this with Hoth Leia. They could do this with Chewbacca, just plain Chewbacca, not Clone Wars Chewbacca. They could do this. They could do this with I mean, a number of different characters. I mean, you could have, for example, you could do this with Revan. You could do this with Malik. You could do this with Darth Malgus. You could do this with lightsaber Rey. I mean, you could make a legendary event every 3 or 4 months. Why not do that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I think that would make more. I mean, that would keep me excited, knowing that like every 4 months, I'm probably going to get like a cool legendary 7-star character that might switch the whole meta up, right? I mean, like, how awesome would it be if like we knew like 4 months from now we might get like lightsaber Rey or Luke or Hoth Leia or something like that. That would be awesome. I mean, there's been so little content. I mean, we haven't had a new update in this game in 6 months. Why not throw us some more legendary events or something like that? If nothing at all, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Wicket would be awesome. Yes, Wicket. I mean, there's lots of cool characters, and they have the ability to pull from other areas. I mean, they could throw in Dr. Aphra from the Darth Vader comics. They could throw in, Grand Admiral Thrawn. I mean, so many cool characters.
You've got the animated universe, so you might be able to get the old Rex and the old Darth Maul.
Yeah, and maybe you get the new Rex. Maybe you get the old Rex, old Darth Maul. Or you get Spider Legs Darth Maul.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, who knows? You could do so many cool things. I think that they should. I think that the least they could do is have these legendary events a little bit more frequently. Yeah, but I mean, I think that there's ultimately a. I mean, obviously, there's a limit to the amount of stuff they can release. They're limited to what Disney will allow them to do, or Lucasfilm will allow them to do. But I mean, like I said, I'd like to see them throw in some more of these events, more things like this. I mean, the Places of Power event's great. Obviously, doing a legendary event with R2D2 is great. These are really cool. But I mean, I'm just getting sick and tired of getting a free 3-star character every couple of weeks that I know I'm not going to buy. And then, getting a ship that I'm not going to buy, and then, waiting to farm them, and then, probably not, getting any cool rewards from any of the events that come out, because the only event that I really look forward to is like I said, this Place of Power event now, and the credit heist. That's it. I mean, I could care less about I got enough train droids to train, another 100 characters. I mean, I don't think I could run out of train droids if I tried. But, anyway, moving along.
Preach on, brother. Preach on.
Do we have any? Listen, I like to go off on a tangent from time to time. Anyway, is there anything else that we missed in the news that we wanted to cover? I think we pretty much got everything.
Yeah, it's been a big week, and I think we got it all.
Okay, so let's move on to the weekly Q&A, which is hosted by none other than our Golden Chinchilla, good old Maurice.
Good evening.
You got some questions for us today, sir?
Yes, I do. You guys ready?
Yes.
Question tonight. These are pulled off the YouTube chat and also throughout the week on Discord on our Alliance server. The first question comes from Malia Bean himself, and he asks, "Hey, 10." And what he means by that is when he was talking about Asajj Ventress and how there are videos out there claiming she's awesome. There are two characters on that list that were in that video, both Biston and Asajj. So I'm starting to think he's getting a rise out of this weekly heckling towards me.
I think this is a personal attack on the Golden Chinchilla himself. So I think you should probably handle this question. Probably best to handle this question. Just let him know how you feel.
See the smirk on his face when he's writing out number 4. What a funny fella that Malia Bean. He's a real trickster. We'll move on to the real questions. First question is going to be from Renee Peters. How will R2-D2 fit into a Jedi squad?
That's an interesting question. I personally think that he would be great. With a. I mean, I think you got to run a Qui-Gon lead, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
I'd say a Qui-Gon. Is somebody clipping their nails back there?
Yeah, doing a little grooming during the stream.
Okay, all right. I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that, and we're just going to move on. But I mean, somebody asked where Cheeky's been. She's actually been moonlighting in the United States for the last couple of weeks. I think she's actually gotten a job as a waitress at the what's the name of that restaurant in I should know, it's in Manhattan, the Hollywood restaurant. No, the Golden Chinchilla. No, she's fine. She's actually just been out of town for a little while. She'll be back next week, so she's doing good. She was going to be on tonight, but something came up. She's got school too. So now, as far as the Jedi is concerned, I think that R2 would be great with a Qui-Gon lead, and maybe with I think a Kenobi. I think also an Anakin Skywalker, and maybe Kanan Jarrus, maybe Ezra or Yoda.
It's good, yeah.
I mean, I think that other character is probably interchangeable. You could probably try out some different combinations, see what works best. But I think you definitely need a Qui-Gon, Kenobi, and probably Anakin in there, and then the rest you could work with, and maybe another taunt. Maybe you want to go with another taunting character, but it could also be somebody that synergizes well with R2. So I mean, if you want to throw in maybe a clone character or something like that, that could be cool also. So it's up to you to try out maybe 5s, maybe
you could do like a hybrid clone and Jedi team for sure, like Kenobi 5s, and then pick 2 more. I mean that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, and you could even go Resistance. I mean, you could even have like Poe in there.
Oh yeah.
So I mean that'd
be okay.
Yeah.
Like under I'm a Gundy lead maybe, because all the enemies gonna be burning and maybe he'll counter that extra base damage.
Increase in potency because of this data for R2. So I mean he's gonna get an increase in potency. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. So I mean, I would say I'd say some variation of a Qui-Gon lead with Kenobi, R2, Anakin, and then you got to choose a 5th character, and that's probably the best way to go with that. I'm not saying that that's going to be meta or that's going to stop a Zal team or anything like that, but I think if you're trying to specifically run a Jedi team, that's probably one of the better routes to go.
Yeah, if that's what you got, I think R2 will enhance it. If that's Jedi, then you'll get better. There was another Jedi question, actually. Okay. Yeah, Tegan here asks, are there any other Jedi leaders besides Qui-Gon that are viable for Arena?
Kenobi lead with a combination of Jedi and clones is actually a pretty good lead. I've seen Kenobi lead do very well in Arena. Run Kenobi with like a combination of like 5s and maybe Echo, or 5s and Rex, and maybe a couple other Jedis, maybe Aayla Secura. I mean, you could do a couple of different combinations of variations and make that team really good. I'd say you could even run like a Baze Chirrut, like you run like a Kenobi lead with with fives and like like fives and Echo, or fives and Rex, and then you also have Baze and Chirrut out there. So you get yourself the triple cleanse. You run Rex, you get the cleanse from Rex, Kenobi, and from Chirrut.
Well, let's assume he doesn't. Let's assume he doesn't have Kenobi. Like, is there any other Jedis you guys would recommend besides Qui-Gon? Like,
I'd say Anakin lead would probably be the third best.
Anakin, yes, yeah, I forgot about him.
Anakin lead is pretty good too. So yeah, I'd say Anakin, or I mean, again, if you're talking about if you don't want to use Qui-Gon or Kenobi, Anakin would probably be the next best option. And he also works with clones too. So I mean, you could throw fives in there and things like that.
I thought you were going to say Old Ben. All right, okay. Let's see what we got next. This one came.
Old Ben is great. Old Ben is great. I don't think his leader is better than Anakin's right now. I think Anakin's leader actually became dominant after Old Ben's leader had faded away, and then Anakin's leader kind of faded away too a while back. But it had its time in the sun for a little while.
Yeah. All right. This the next question here. This comes from Cody Moore from our. He's asking the Imperial troopers, where will they be viable?
Well, I don't think they'll be viable in Arena right off the bat. I think that there'll be characters that could possibly really work well in a raid. You're going to get a lot of synergy with them now, and they're going to work great together. I've seen them in action. They look fantastic. They're going to do a lot more damage now. But I don't think you're going to be able to put them in Arena and stop a Maul team right now. I still think the Maul dominates against them right now. But that could change down the road. I mean, there's always new characters that are going to be added, new Empire characters, maybe new troopers coming into the game. But I think that they're a great team. On certain shards, they'll be able to take it and win. If you're able to play the game well enough to defeat some of these other teams. I think you can beat a Rex team with them. I think you can beat a Rogue One team with them. I don't think you're going to be able to stay and hold on defense against a Zol team or anything like that. So on offense, I think you may have a shot, but on defense, I don't think so.
Well,
but I mean, that's pretty much the game right now. I mean, no team's really holding on defense right now.
All right. Anyone else have anything they want to add to the Imperial troopers? I personally don't know much about them. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know where the damage is going to come from either. But
has anybody here spent a lot of time farming the Empire characters?
No, I kind of let
You're
him
a
go
clones
by.
guy.
I was a clones, and then just kind of utility stuff. I for some reason didn't really get much of the Empire until I obviously got Palpatine. But then you didn't really need any of the Empire to go around to make him useful. So
Alan and Town Omega are kind of our Empire guys. We lost them on the stream here.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, we answered that. There was another Empire question as well. Oh, yes. Asks, I have 6 7-star Empire characters. What gear tier and level will I need them at to get the 7-star R2-D2?
6 7-star Empire characters?
To choose from. He doesn't list off who they were, but I guess he's just asking how high does he need to gear them and level them and stuff like that to get the character up.
I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see on that. But I would say just as a rule of thumb, I mean, I'd say you want to have them at least at gear level 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I'd say probably gear level 8. Level 70 or better.
Yeah.
To get the last tier.
What you could do is you could get the gear ready, like get them to gear 8 like you suggested, and get the gear ready and just hold on to it. I mean, if you need it, then equip it. If not, you can probably put it elsewhere. Because I mean, who needs a gear 11?
You're not going to hurt yourself by leveling up some Empire characters either. So I mean, some of them, if you're planning on leveling them up anyway. This is just a good reason to start doing it. It's a good excuse. So, if you're talking about, characters that you're nowhere near, getting done, then I mean I wouldn't switch gears right now and start farming Empire characters if you're working on a Rebel team or something like that, just to try to get R2D2. Because you're probably not going to get the full 7-star version. If you don't get the full 7-star version, it's not worth it. I mean, I don't think a 5-star R2D2 is going to help you too much. Even if you do, let's say you come short, you fall short of it. You're going to end up having to wait a couple of months anyway to get them to 7 stars, and maybe it's be better to just hold off and let it flow your schedule rather than changing your schedule just to meet that demand.
It's something I will add on that. Arnold 101 actually posted a video a while back. It's like the Empire free-to-play farming guide. You know, if you guys are in a rush and trying to figure out which ones you can get, that's a good video to check it out because he shows you where to get exactly all the characters, how long it's going to take, and that sort of thing. So that could be real helpful for this event and preparing for it.
Yes, check out Arnold's video. And all of us are going to have some pretty cool videos for you guys soon. So there's some stuff we're working with right now, and we'll probably have a look at some cool stuff for you guys right around when the R2 event comes out. So looking forward to that.
All right,
but
I think this next question, they released like a hot fix last night having to do something with Vader and the Rancor. Do you know what that you guys know what that's all about?
Yeah, it said something in the notes here that there was a fix that
I think it fixed something in between the phases.
Yeah, what happened was there was a bug fix, and it was that with the Rancor Devour raid was being off cooldown for the Rancor when Phase 2 started for a player. So that means like when they went into Phase 2, it was the Devour was already off cooldown, so he was able to eat the character right off the bat.
That happened for me, and usually Phase 3 would start, and it starts immediately off cooldown. It's ready to go.
Oh, so it had nothing to do with the Vader turn meter manipulation thing?
No. And then in the tank takedown raid, incendiary shells being off cooldown in the tank takedown raid for AAT, so they fixed that also.
Yeah, because Brent Riggs asked, do you guys think EA will refund Zetas from Vader? I guess it doesn't really apply because it doesn't really... Well, does it as far as him in the raid?
No.
Okay, well... All right, let's see. We've answered the Trooper question, answered that. All right, this is kind of a fun one. Big Stuff 2001. Which character has the most annoying animations in the game?
I actually have an answer for this, and I'll tell you, in my opinion, it's the most annoying animation in the game is Sabine Wren's little disco dance to slap somebody in the face with the stick. That pisses me off more than anything else.
For some reason,
does like an
though,
electric slide.
Sabine's looks a little better. Same animation model, but for some reason, for that character, it just works better.
The only reason it's better is because you know mentally that it's a dark saber, right? It's not like a truncheon stick. With Sabine, with Jin, it feels like she's hitting somebody with one of those bobby sticks that the police had, those nightsticks.
Truncheon.
It just feels like she's just whacking somebody with a truncheon, and then she said, and it's like she's like sliding across the street. It doesn't even make it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make scientific sense.
I think you can kind of allow for it because that's kind of how she moves in the animation on Rebels. So it's a little bit like that. You've seen her kind of do cool little matrixy slides and jump around when she's fighting. So there's some precedent for that. Whereas Jin's a real life live action movie.
I think they're both breaking the laws of physics with their maneuvers towards the characters. They're just kind of like sliding. I think they're kind of doing like, one of those things where like Michael Jackson can like kind of like lean all the way back, like all the way back, and like he's just kind of like, it's like they're doing like that, like it's like a half like moon slide, like, and then whacking somebody in the face and then coming fully back and from that position standing again. It's like a modern marvel in physical ability. I don't think anybody could humanly do that.
So you guys think that's worse than Dooku sidestepping and prancing and dancing and doing his little?
Dooku looks amazing out there. He looks like a little prince. You know, he's just
does
kind of
look like a
he's just
like fencer, and he's doing all these flicky little fancy sword moves, and
he's got like his little sword, and he's just like. He's like a wizard out there, man. He's just like slapping people in the face.
especially
he's
when
like
the animation goes wrong and he shoots right off the screen past the characters, disappears for a while, then shoots back.
Unbelievable. If it doesn't look at all like that when you're using Dooku. Like when you got Dooku, it's like he just sucks, right? He just dies. Okay, but like when the computer uses Dooku, I mean, he is like a magician out there. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's almost like there's like pixie dust, like going behind him wherever he walks.
Oh,
it's like he's like dancing across, like
you just reminded me
whacking
of
you
a
in the
video.
face. Every attack, he's either stunning you or ability blocking you, and then he's like just jumps back to a spot and then just like stuns somebody right in the face. You know what I'm saying? It's like with his electric shock. I mean, he just looks amazing. It looks like it's like when the game first came out, I was like, how is everybody? If anybody gets a 7-star Dooku, the game's over.
Yeah,
like when the game first came out, and then eventually everybody got 7-star Dooku. We found out, but it's like, yeah, he's a really. I don't find his animations annoying. Not like Sabine's or
little man crush on Prince Dooku, huh? Little man crush developing.
Dooku's also. I mean, if you'd ask me who's the best dressed right now, I'd say Dooku.
Well, that
okay.
I mean, that goes without saying.
With that cape and everything. I mean, he's a count, bro. He's a count.
He's a count, bro. All right. Moving on, we got now this one actually, Ramon, you were in the chat as well. This one came from Sneakaway last night. He asked a good question. I asked if we could answer it on here. He asked, when is it appropriate to equip the additional pieces at Gear 11 on characters?
If you're using them in arena, I'd say, if they're not characters that you're using right now frequently, like either in the raid or in arena, then you can hold off for right now. But when you're facing against another guy in arena, you need every single advantage that you can have, whether that's damage, armor, defense, health, tenacity, anything that you can get to guarantee that you can just give you a better chance to hold on defense or win on offense to get you those crystals every day. I think you got to go with your arena team should be all maxed out at least. I mean, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe you want to move on to some of the other characters that you use in raids or in Galactic War and things like that. But definitely your arena team should be maxed out in gear. And then, of course, if you're working on a new arena team on the side, you're going to want to get those guys geared up to the max as well. But if you're talking about a team, like let's say you're running a Zol team right now or something like that, every one of those characters should be geared up to the max to give yourself the best advantage against any opponent that you have in arena.
Okay. Well, also I think it's important the pieces too. Like some of those was it the MK6 detonators that give the 6 speed that a lot of characters need at 11. I think you should always give those to your character. Anything with speed. Maybe like a scanner. Some of the characters like Boba Fett and Finn take scanners.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Not all pieces are created equal. I mean, those thermal detonators are a must. If you have a thermal detonator at Gear 11 that's not equipped and you're using that character, absolutely. You need to equip that 6 speed, health. I mean, that mod alone is like a super mod. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, not mod, a super piece of gear. So I would, that piece of gear would be worth equipping. I mean, I have Ezra Bridger to Gear 11. I mean, he's not even usable right now, but I mean, I have Ezra Bridger to Gear 11 4-star, and I've equipped that last thermal detonator that he gets just because it gives him 6 speed and gives him more health, some more survivability. It makes sense. Yeah. And if you're talking about a character that you're using that's understarred, okay, that's another thing. So let's say you're using a shore trooper, or let's say you're using like a 4-star shore trooper, using like a 4-star, 5-star Baze or Chirrut, then they definitely need all the gear that they can get. So you should be giving them every piece that you can. If you're using an understarred character, all the gear that you can give them.
That's a good point. That's a good point indeed. All right. And our last question tonight's going to come from our very own Chili Dog. Chili Dog helps us out here in the live show with a lot of the graphics and with the website and whatnot. Excuse me. saying that Kenobi and R2 need a lot of the same gear. If you were 3 weeks away from unlocking Kenobi, would you guys recommend gearing Kenobi or R2? Or excuse me, excuse me. Would you guys recommend gearing Kenobi, R2, or wait first?
If you have the gear already, I mean, since it's only 4 days away and it's a lot of gear, and just see what you get. But I don't think you can go wrong with gearing Kenobi because we know he's a great character. I mean, already he's going to be great in any team. I mean, you can use Kenobi anywhere. But again, R2D2 may be more helpful for your particular squad composition. So I would say hold off for a couple of days and just see, because getting all that gear is going to, I mean, I remember gearing up Kenobi took me a month almost, right? So
it was awful.
So, I mean, you're talking about a month's worth of gear. It's worth waiting a few days to find out, I'd say. If you're talking about
now
putting together a Jedi Zeta team, I mean, you know your answer. I don't know. I think you got to go Qui-Gon there. But I'm saying again, wait, because I mean, R2 could add more to a Jedi team. Also, I'd wait till you start to see how people are applying R2 in Arena and where he's going to be most commonly said. Because eventually there'll be a spot where he's like definitively used most, right? Like it'll be either with Rebels or with Jedi or with Galactic Republic characters, and wherever he falls, you'll be able to make your decision based on that.
Yeah, and another thing, when you're looking at R2's, we just touched on this at Gear 11. When you're looking at R2's gear list, it says in these and 200 stun guns, right? You're like, but 100 of those each are equipped at Gear 11. So you can get R2 up to Gear 11 with only 150 Carbonis and 100 stun guns. So he's not terribly difficult to get to Gear 11. He's not the end of the world. So yeah, and that's all the questions I got tonight, guys. So
all right, well, I wanted to move on to the website because I wanted to talk a little bit about what we're trying to do here this coming week. For those of you that have stuck around with us for the rest of the show, I've got something special I want to announce. So I've been talking with EA Jesse about actually either coming on the show to answer some questions or doing a pre-recording and answering those questions with me so we can play it on the live show. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to get some feedback from you guys that actually watch the show. Okay, so for any of you out there that would like to contribute a question to be asked to EA Jesse, we're going to be creating a channel right after this show in the Alliance Discord that's going to be called #AskJesse. Okay, and you'll be able to go into the Discord and type your question into that chat. So what I want you to do is, if you haven't already made your way into the Alliance Discord, go over to thealliancegaming.com. www.thealliancegaming.com will give you instructions on how to come over into our Discord channel and come join us there. So you can actually come into our Discord channel, come and add a question that you'd like to be asked to EA Jesse. Now I'm going to try to ask as many of the questions as I can. But I'd like to get some of your guys' questions answered because you guys watch the show. So, I mean, why wouldn't I, answer the questions that you guys have, first and foremost? I don't want to just ask them a bunch of my questions because, really it'd be great to get some feedback from you guys and try to see what you guys want to get, answered. So, plus I talk to Jesse regularly, so I have some information. I'd like to see what he'd like to, have answer for you guys. So, any questions that you'd have or you'd like to have answered by EA Jesse, come on over into our Discord. Go to thealliancegaming.com and follow the instructions. Go to Ask Jesse in the Discord, and you can ask your question right there in the chat. Okay. Another reason for this is right now after this show, we're going to be going in there for our live show after party, which is going to be hosted by none other than the Golden Chinchilla himself, good old Maurice. And he's going to come in there and answer your questions. We're going to give away some ally codes. We're going to talk about this upcoming R2D2 event. We've got a lot of banter going on there. Who knows? Maybe Cheeky Cutie may even make an appearance late night for us here. That'd be cool. But again, if you guys have any questions you'd like to be asked to EA Jesse, I'm going to leave the channel open for a couple of days. I'm going to compile the questions and then send them to Jesse so he can take a look at them. And then we're going to have him, either record the answers to those questions with us in a separate segment, and then I'll play it on the show either next week or the week after, or we will actually have him come on the show as a guest and answer those questions here for us right on the show. So looking forward to that. If you guys have any questions you'd like me to ask Jesse directly, any questions you'd like answered, again, go to www.thealliancegaming.com and follow the instructions into the Alliance Discord. You're always welcome there anyway, just to come chat with us and come say hi, ask any questions, or just to join in the banter. We're usually in there throughout the course of the day, just chatting anyway. So all are welcome. You don't have to necessarily be in the Alliance to come there and chat, but if you'd like to join the Alliance as well, we have over 40, almost 50 guilds that, we're almost full right now, but I know that we're, definitely looking for new recruits, and we're trying to get prepared for any of this new content that comes up. So, when that new content comes, the Alliance is going to be at the forefront of completing that new content. So if you're looking to join a group or a community of people that's going to be at the forefront as far as completing the hardest stuff that comes out whenever it does come, the Alliance is definitely a place to be. So also the AllianceGaming.com website is just great for any information that you want to get. It's got tons of links to videos, guides for the AAT raid, and tons of blogs and information from some of the great and valued members of our Alliance community. So definitely go check that out regardless. But again, if you'd like your questions answered, come over to the Discord. And after the show here, we're going to be all chatting in the Discord with the after party. So you definitely come chat with us after the show. But again, I want to thank everybody for staying with us so late. Again, sorry about some of the technical difficulties that we had earlier in the show and for not being able to get it together for you guys last night. We're going to work on some of those kinks and continue to try to improve the show and the quality so that we can put out the best live show for you guys that we can every single week. So appreciate you guys checking it out. And again, come and join us over at the other Discord. Does anybody else want to have any final thoughts or anything they want to add? Any plugs they want to throw out there?
No, just that we lost Marth, Talon, and Omega, and all of them. Want to thank everybody for joining us and sticking with us here for a couple hours.
Yeah, it was great, guys. A lot to cover today. It was a great show, and I thank you guys for joining us on the journey. But as always, may the force be with you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Come on over into our Discord for the after party. See you guys next week.
Holla.